Well, Dana, being back home after a month, but still keeping what you've built off the last few weeks offensively, how's that just, to come in here and have another game where you're able to do some good things offensively?
Yeah, proud of our football team. Close to being a complete game. Didn't exactly finish it the right way, but we finished it with some backups that needed and deserved some time. I mean, every game that we've played has been so dang tight, and haven't been able to do that. So it's good to do that, but it didn't look very good, which means I get upset, and we have to give up another touchdown, and then we have to get the hands team out there. So, that just reminds us that it's 2022, and it's hard, and it's tight, and get used to it. Every game's going to be like that. But, I was really proud of our team for how we responded. We're coming off of 2 wins. We're coming off our best performance, coming back home. That's typically when, you have a tendency to relax a little bit. I don't think we're a team that plays very good when we relax a little bit. We fight a little bit better and play a little bit better when our backs are against the wall. Had a little bit of a crisis on Tuesday because we didn't practice very good at all, and I was like, "Do you guys think you got things figured out or what?" And so I challenged them, and we bounced back and practiced a little bit better Wednesday and Thursday without 22 scholarship athletes because we had a bug going around our building, so we literally didn't practice. A whole lot of people that played in that game today did not practice or prepare. Had me extremely concerned. So for us to overcome that as a football team, South Florida is dangerous now. I know the wins haven't been there, but they're dangerous, and they play hard, and they got great talent, and they're coached well. I didn't want it to be us that they figured it out against. We knew they'd score some points and move the ball offensively. We knew we had to match that, which we did. So just if you take the totality of everything that has happened this week, I'm very proud of our football team to overcome that and get another win. Then there's the play-at-home thing. Haven't played great at home, in my opinion. So, it was important to our team. Homecoming, it was important for our team to go out there and play well at home, and we did. Very proud of them.
Dana, earlier in the week you talked about how Peyton was, showing signs of progress. Just can you talk about him stepping in there when Keyshawn went down on that drive, coming up with 3 big catches and the score? He's been getting better and better. He's getting some confidence by playing. He hadn't played a whole lot in the first couple of years that he was here. Keyshawn, I thought, played really well. He was a 100-yard rush receiver and made a couple of catches on that drive and got the wind knocked out of him. So Peyton went in there and I think caught 3 passes on the rest of that drive or whatever, and a heck of a throw and catch for a touchdown. So very proud of him. It's just kind of been the motto of this team. We are a resilient team, and we don't panic when people go down and other people got to go in. I think we got a good core nucleus of older guys, obviously Tune, Donnie, but a good core nucleus of older guys that it means a bunch to them. And so whoever needs to go in and play goes in and plays, and we don't bat an eye when it comes to that.
Dana, Battie got his yards early in that first quarter. What was it defensively that you guys were able to sort of switch up and keep him from breaking some big ones there in the last 2 or 3
Yeah,
quarters?
he's slippery. He's a good player. I mean, we all saw what he did against us last year. I thought our kickoff team was good. Obviously, last year when they got 2 out on us, it was a huge focus. We put some guys on there. We put Donnie on there. We put Hip on there. Aaron Willis is going to be a good player for us around here. We're still wanting to redshirt him, but I green light him for this game just to get guys that can run and hit. The kicks were pretty good. We handled that well, but he's a good player, and so from a running back perspective, he's slippery. We missed tackles early, kind of settled in, and did a better job of tackling towards the end.
Dana, you guys finally got the pass rush going a little bit in the second half. It seemed to be Dot was in the middle of a lot of that. So for a second great week in a row, what have you seen at his emergence this season? He's
just recommitted himself. He'll be the first to admit that. After Tulane, he recommitted. I mean, there's been stories, and it's been documented and all that stuff. But he's recommitted himself and is playing well. You know, we lost Jamari Caldwell earlier in the week. It's another just starter that goes down. Antonio Brooks went down against Navy. Those guys are out, pending. Don't know how long. Other guys needed to step in. Dot stepped up, obviously. These guys don't give up sacks. You know, I think they only gave up like 6 or 7 sacks all year going into this game. So, you know, they get the ball out. They'd rather throw it out of bounds or incompletion than sit in there and you know, try to take a sack. So we finally got that score to 3 touchdowns, which, you know, fourth quarter, 3 touchdowns, that means they panic and have to start throwing it around a little bit more, which when we know that's coming, I mean, we're going to get guys back there to be able to sack the quarterback.
Dana, on the note of playmakers, you know, 2 guys that have really risen, in particular Stacey Sneed, back-to-back strong performances. You can add Peyton in there, what he's been able to do in this game. What can you talk about those 2 and how they've risen over the last few games? Yeah,
just next guy up, man. You know, Sam Brown a couple weeks ago. You know, Keyshawn a couple weeks ago. Stacey Seeds, when Tazon went down, it's Stacey's turn. You know, go in there. He's slippery. We knew he had twitch, and we knew he had potential to get in there. It's good to see him doing that. I thought Brandon Campbell bounced back and played better today. You know, I wasn't happy with his performance at Navy, but he bounced back and responded, which that was awesome to see. His ball security was good. He played hard, ran hard, and then Stacey as well. You know, hoping to get Tazon back quick. I don't know if it's going to be this week or whatever. We need to get him back because we're going to need all of them to finish the rest of this year.
Dana, the last 3 games for Clayton, I believe it's 12 touchdowns, 1 pick, and about 1,000 yards. Is this? I mean, you said it at the beginning of the year what he could do, but is this? Have you seen something where it's just sort of trending, where that confidence or whatever is just sort of sparked him or ignited?
Yeah, it's confidence, but Clayton's been confident all year. I mean, he's played well all year. I just think our offense is starting to gel. It takes more than a quarterback. I mean, I felt good about coming into this game just with his experience and senior leadership, and you know, he's playing at a very high level. But we're starting to gel around him with everybody. Right, everything starts up front. For the 3rd week in a row, I thought we've played better. You know, I was critical of those guys earlier in the year. We can't get anything going if they're not doing their job. So, you know, it starts there, tight ends included when it comes to that, just blocking people, sustaining blocks, giving him time to throw, and then routes developing, gaining confidence with guys that are in the right spots at the right times to make plays downfield. So he's playing the same. Our offense is gelling around him, you know. So, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't. You know, I just gave him a game ball that had 10,000 yards on it, right? I mean, you know, I coached Case when I was here the first time, and to have him in the same conversation as Case Keenum and Kevin Cobb, you know, I mean, we're not even talking about Andre Ware and David Klingler because they didn't stack the years, you know, that those guys did. But it's awesome to see that because he's very deserving of what he's accomplished over the last several years.
As a quarterback guy, I mean, 10,000 yards is not chump change by any means. I mean, is that, when you look at that number, it's longevity, you know, you play a lot, but he's also had a lot of success.
Yeah, I've coached a few good ones, so, you know, those you know, he's in that same conversation. I don't want to go back and start comparing him and all that stuff. It ain't fair to anybody, but he's playing really well, and he's getting some credit that he deserves. I mean, our conference player of the week the last 2 weeks, these stats here are better than they were the last couple of weeks, so maybe he'll get it 3 times in a week. But very deserving of the recognition that's coming his way right now.
Yeah, Dana, going into the week, you were talking about just special teams, especially kickoff. Obviously, you didn't let anything loose. Did you see that sort of improvement that you were wanting to see from kickoff coverage in terms of just?
Yeah, I mean, nothing happened that was detrimental to our team, you know. So Keyshawn made a great play at the end of the game, you know, on that hands team. That's a hard play to make right there. I thought it was a flag. The guy can't hit him. He's supposed to be protected. But, you know, but, yeah, we did a good job. I mean, we kicked the ball well. We punted. We covered well. These guys are extremely dangerous, some of the best in the country, and we handled it well. They started coming back. I mean, I don't understand why you throw flags at the end of the game when we got second and third team people in there. We're just trying to run the game out. There's a couple of stupid things that happened that hasn't showed up in a month. So I got to go start talking about it again. So we'll coach it hard. I thought we've done a good job of coaching and cleaning up some technique stuff. There's dumb stuff that happened again. We will address it and hopefully improve on it next week.
Hey, Coach, what kind of adjustments were made after the bye week to finally get the offense rolling these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I've already. Thank you. Appreciate it.
USF quarterback Clayton Tune here.
All right.
Hey, Clayton. Dana was saying, I mean, it's been so long since you guys have been at home, and that it was important to, y'all hadn't played your best at home this year. What was it like to, to go out there, get things sort of going, and especially in the second half there?
Yeah, no, it was great. Like you said, we haven't played good at home yet this year, and that's something we take pride in is playing at home and playing in front of our fans and in front of our city. So, that was a huge point of emphasis this week, was just playing good in front of our home crowd, and felt like we did so.
Clayton, y'all have been, with injuries at the receiver position, but it's, Sam stepped up, Keyshawn stepped up, and now today Peyton. Can you just talk about the way you've grown more comfortable with those guys and how they're stepping up despite, being thin at that position?
Yeah, no, I'm really proud of that entire group. We had our starting, 4 at the beginning of the season, and then like you said, we've had some injuries, so some guys have had to step up, and maybe they're ready, maybe they weren't, but regardless, they stepped up and they filled that void, and I'm really happy with how they've stepped in and played, and I just expect them to continue to make plays because I know they will, and they expect me to, put the ball where it needs to be, and I've gotten really comfortable with all of those guys, which is good.
Clayton, Dana said he presented you with the game ball in there. Said I guess it had 10,000 yards on it. What does that mean for kind of, if you could sum up the career milestone of that achievement?
No, it's really special. I mean, it's a really cool. It's a really cool thing to do. I didn't even really know. I kind of had an idea I was closing in, but I didn't know how close I was because I try to not look at numbers and stats. But whenever they did that on the big screen during the game, it kind of caught me off guard. But it was awesome. It was such a cool feeling. And then to have Coach Holgorsen after the game present me with the ball was really special. So I'm thankful to everyone that's helped me get here along the way.
Clayton, this is the second week in a row where Stacy's really gotten involved in the offense and made some big plays in the running game. Can you just talk about him stepping up and just what he brings to this offense?
He's a really, really dynamic player. I mean, he's just so elusive, and rarely does the first guy ever make the tackle on him. He's always making guys miss and breaking tackles, and it showed today. Last week too. Last week he had a carry where he was made something out of nothing, and he's got that ability. It's not something you can teach. Guys have that or they don't, and I feel like he's definitely got that ability to just make something out of nothing, make people miss, and get crafty for big gains.
Clayton, after the last 2 games and the fourth quarter against Memphis, do you feel like this offense is kind of just turning the corner to where you want to be for the rest of AAC play? Yeah, no doubt. It all started, like you said, with the Memphis game. I feel like that was a huge confidence boost for us because we felt like we hadn't been playing up to our standard up to that point. And so being able to find a way to win that game at the end and, it was huge for our just momentum as an offense, and we just continued to build on it with the game last week against Navy, and then today. I felt like we played as clean and as confident as we've played all year, and so that's the trend. We want to continue to move in that direction and play as clean as possible.
So does 2 touchdowns get you out of having to go shopping for Tank Dale's birthday?
I hope so. I don't know. Tank's, it was funny. He knows how many yards he's got during the game, which is kind of funny. So he was at 99, and he was like, come on. He's like, come on, I need 1 catch. Give me 1 catch. And so I was just joking with him. I was like, nah, man, you're staying at 99. But for him to have 100 yards and 2 touchdowns hopefully gets me off the hook.
Well, to his credit, when you got that milestone, he was on the sideline, like, leading the cheer. I mean, he had a towel and was, like, hooping and hollering.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in all seriousness, this is a guy that when you look at your yardage, you've had some really good receivers, but he's been pretty special one out of the group.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he and I definitely have a special, connection and chemistry there. We've played together for, I guess this is year 3 now, so we spent a lot of time together, throwing a lot of routes on air and routes outside of structured practice time, and it's showing, it's paying off. So I'm really proud of him for sure.
1 2 more.
in this race, is it a game-by-game approach, or do you sort of kind of have to prevent yourself from looking too far ahead at what the scenarios and all that?
Yeah, well, we know the scenarios. Everyone's, I feel like, pretty aware of it. But like you said, it's a game-to-game mentality, because the scenario doesn't matter if we don't, go out and do what we're supposed to do. So we can't afford to have another conference loss, and so we know that, and that's why we're taking each game one game at a time and, just controlling what we can control.
Dana did say this was close to as a complete game that you guys did have. Do you feel like what you guys, at least on the offensive side, what you're showing, if y'all play like this the rest of the way, that this is a team that can
Yeah, like I said earlier, I feel like it was a really clean game. There was a couple mistakes and penalties here and there, but nothing like it was early on in the season, and so we're trending in the right direction. So, yeah, if we continue to play and get better and, just play more efficient football, then yeah.
Clayton, you've kind of alluded to how that Memphis game, you guys have kind of been able to flip the switch. Leading into the week, Jace Rogers talked about how for the defense, they kind of focused on communication among themselves in the defensive group. I'm curious if the offense did anything like that, whether it was during the bye week, that's something that you could attribute that switch when it comes from an offensive perspective.
I think it was just, everybody to a man doing their job. There's 11 guys on the field, and for a play to be successful, all 11 guys have to do their job and not worry about what other people are doing, you know what I mean? So that was the main focus, is just do your job, and do it with a high sense of urgency. Do it now, do it quickly. Those were really the main things that we focused on.
Last one here. Clay, do you know? I mean, you know the history here. When you hear Case Keenum, Kevin Cobb, Clayton Tune, what does that mean?
It's awesome. It's really special to be mentioned in the same sentence as those guys is an honor for me. They're U of H legends that have come through here and won a lot of games, thrown a lot of touchdowns, thrown for a lot of yards, and just to even be mentioned in the same sentence as them is really special. So I'm proud to be in the company of those guys.
Thanks so much, Clay.
Thanks, guys.
We got Thabo Mwaniki.
How y'all doing?
Thabo, that second half, can you kind of just take us through some of the adjustments or what you guys did to take away? Batee had some yards early, but you guys seemed to force them to do some other things and go away from the run. What was it about that defensively?
Yeah, so like you said, the first half was a lot of runs. So we came to the sideline. We talked to coach. We have great coaches. They're really smart. We made some adjustments and we cleaned up the run, and that's why I look like that.
Thabo, take us through that stretch in the third quarter. I think you had 5, maybe 6 straight plays coming up with a tackle, last line of defense on some, and then you stopping behind the line of scrimmage to end that.
We was just trying to keep our foot on the pedal, really. So third quarter, first quarter, second, fourth, it doesn't matter. We're going to do the same thing. So basically just took the coaching, went with the game plan, and executed.
Thabo, last time we talked to Coach Belk on Monday, he was talking about just how important it was for y'all, against Navy, to force missed field goals, get off the field today, forced a missed field goal, got some fourth down stops. How big are those in momentum swings and just get y'all going?
Oh, those are very big, Getting the ball back to our offense, guys like Clayton Tune, Tank Dell, that's big for us, you know what I'm saying? So we emphasize getting off the field, so having those outcomes was really good, really good.
Thabo, kind of on the same lines to what James said, but just going back a few games against Memphis, they scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, and you guys are able to turn it around and hold them to field goals the rest of the way. Mm-hmm. Something similar what you guys did today against South Florida. What does that say about the defense's, really mentality to be able to shake that off and be able to turn around in game?
Bend don't break. It's all hard. So play happened. It didn't go our way. We, shake it off. It's next play mentality.
Clayton was telling us how he feels the offense is at this point where they've been clicking to where they want to be. How would you assess where the defense is up to this point in the season, considering, where you started to, these past few games where you've been able to string together some wins?
Every week we're trying to reach a new level. So just every week we're just trying to get better and, take coaching and execute game plans and just try to do better than we did the last week.
Thabo, back there in the secondary, you guys have dealt with your share of injuries, whether it's Alex or Gio missing some time. How as a group have y'all handled that in terms of from week to week, maybe with guys not practicing and then not knowing who's going to play, just to know that somebody's going to have to step up.
Mm-hmm. It's the standard. The standard is we all hold each other accountable, and it's always next man up. And regardless of who's in the game, we know what they're going to do. We know what we coached to do, and we know what we're capable of doing. So we got a lot of confidence in putting whoever it is out there on the field and just, being confident knowing that they're going to do their job.
One more. You guys in the secondary don't ever see Dot or Latrell doing their little dances?
Oh, yeah. We always do. That gets me lit. Latrell kicks his leg way up. I tell him all the time, you flexible. Yeah.
Those guys, especially on those 2 fourth down plays, they shut them down there. But they have a line that does that for you guys, puts some pressure, takes maybe some of it off. What's that like?
Oh, I love Sakev. Those are my boys. I tell them all the time. The stuff they do, it's like that dirty work in the dark. They really don't get too much recognition sometimes. But guys like Dot and Latrell, like you mentioned, they're a big part of our defense. And I'm very grateful for them to be my teammates.
Did y'all celebrate Tank's birthday?
Oh, we did, yeah. We picked him up in there. We sang happy birthday for him. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. He was up there in the air. Mm-hmm. He was in the air. Yeah. So. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Thabo.
Thank you. Thank y'all.